On today's episode, we're going to be talking about PetSmart. More specifically, the training classes and courses that PetSmart offers at their stores around, I guess, North America, the US, and Canada. And whether or not, are they worth it? Are they good?
Is it worth it?
Should you be doing it? Is it worth it?
Welcome to The Woofy Show. Join hosts Brian and Magda as they bring you insights, real stories, and smart tips for raising happy and healthy dogs.
Magda, what do you think? Or how do you want to start this?
Do you want a short answer? No, we can call it a day.
No, let's do pros and cons and normal stuff. But yeah, that's true. We'll summarize that at the end.
PetSmart dog training is like number one recommended training, dog training to new dog parents.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Is it? I did not know that.
Because everyone just knows about it. All I see in our group, it's like, hey, if you can't afford like a private dog trainer, go on PetSmart.
That's funny though, because I didn't even know they offer training until like, I don't know, months later.
Until I saw this weird little room in the corner of their store. And
I think
I'm like,
we even went to
happening?
PetSmart before we got, Maple for the first time. And I didn't know till maybe months later when we were, walking around. So that's funny. That's
all I ever
like
seen.
the most recommended place.
And to be honest, when someone says, hey, go to PetSmart for dog training, it like gives me this internal ick. I'm just like,
okay, so
no.
what is like, well, I don't know how you want to like explain what is involved in a PetSmart training, what it takes to be a PetSmart trainer.
Yeah.
Let's start with that, I guess.
So what it takes to, so this is why PetSmart training gives me such a big ick. It's because
I like that.
Basically, in order to qualify and to certify yourself as a PetSmart dog trainer, it literally takes you 2 weeks.
Okay.
They go through 96 hours of dog training, according to Reddit, someone who works at the PetSmart as a dog trainer. That's what they have been telling us. And was it like 16 hours of book work?
Or like video work or whatever.
Or video work, like watching videos.
We'll call it classroom work.
Virtual.
Yes.
So 16 hours of that. And then they have to follow another PetSmart dog trainer. Shadow them.
Like a job shadow.
For 2 40-hour weeks.
Okay.
So in 2 weeks, you can be a certified PetSmart dog trainer.
So that's interesting because realistically, it's 16 hours, and the rest of it, you're just watching somebody.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll let you do stuff, but
you are kind of practicing how to talk, how to present things in front of a crowd.
I didn't know that was
like that.
Really? That's just. I guess that's an important factor, but that is part of the 80 hours is you're practicing like.
It's like, hey, I'm here. This is how this program is run, and I'm here to sell you things.
Okay, yes. I guess so. Okay, so after that, then they're certified trainers, air quotes, as in like for PetSmart, and they're able to teach classes.
So this is why it's the training is so questionable, because you know how long it takes to certify yourself as a dog trainer with a big, like Karen Pryor.
Oh yeah. So I looked that up because I was curious. So for you to do like the training program through the Karen Pryor Academy or Victoria Stilwell Academy, I've only looked up those two. Yeah, it's about anywhere from 2 to 6 months, and 2 months is like kind of the shortened. I think just to be like a dog professional, like maybe more for personal use, but it's usually around 6 months.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's full time or not, but still, the fact it's probably still quite a big chunk of your week over half a year.
And you have to pay for it. And from what I know, it's not cheap.
Oh yeah, no, it's thousands.
It's thousands of dollars. And I think, I don't know this for sure. I should have Googled this, but I don't think people have to pay to be a PetSmart dog trainer.
I have no idea.
I think it's part of their training.
Maybe
like their employment.
Yeah. That's a good question. Yeah. We'll have to look that up after the fact. Or if you know, let us know.
To me, that's just insulting to a dog training industry.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Honest. So you can say you're a dog trainer after 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Which then you have these people.
You don't need to have any experience prior. You don't even have to see a dog.
Well, yeah. So we've talked about it in the previous episodes that certifications don't always mean things. It's not the most important, but it's still like someone who is a self-taught dog trainer. They've had dogs their whole lives. They're passionate. They've learned a lot. They didn't like, I'm 17 years old, 16 years old. I don't know what the age limit is for.
I want to be a dog trainer.
Yeah,
I'm going to go
first
work
job
for PetSmart. And I'm going to certify myself as a PetSmart.
I love animals.
Yeah.
Right. What does animals mean? Dogs or cats or fish or,
I don't know, a bug.
But yeah, that's very interesting.
So there's a big difference, right? There's a big mixed bag of dog trainers at PetSmart. I'm not saying every dog trainer is bad at PetSmart. There are some good ones. There are some really bad ones. Yeah. Internet is full of negativity. So obviously when you go on internet and you start searching PetSmart dog trainers, it's all just negative.
You do see more of, you'll see the odd positive one.
The only positive things that I managed to see was on actual PetSmart website.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
So it is a mixed bag. So you'll get the people who are, the trainers wannabes that would have probably never seen a dog in their life and they just want to I don't know.
I don't know if it's that extreme, but yeah.
Yeah. They just want to make some money, right? And to qualify themselves call themselves a dog trainer.
Yeah.
Or you also probably can get people who are actually passionate about dogs and who do their own research. They take notes. They take time to learn in their own time outside of the PetSmart training program.
So, and maybe PetSmart is just like a, what is it? What's that term?
Like getting your foot in the door.
Yeah, kind of thing. Another term, but I can think of it. I did read, though, about that. For the basic, which we'll get into like the classes, but the basic ones, you do their training. But if you want to do any advanced classes, because yes, PetSmart has advanced classes, you have to teach yourself. There is no training program because they don't know how to train you. Or it's just not worth their money to train you.
Know.
So I did
or maybe
read that.
not a lot of people progress to that because they realize, going to PetSmart like beginners classes. Yeah. They realize, hey, this is very basic and, this is what we're working on. Or maybe people have certain problems like aggression. They go to these beginner classes, realize that PetSmart can't help them. Yeah. And then they just don't progress to intermediate advanced classes. So maybe there's just no
popular, so
need for it as much.
So I guess we'll talk about the courses or the classes they offer. So they have different...
They have a lot of classes.
I know. We originally looked it up and we're like, basic, whatever, beginner, puppy. And then we scroll down and there's like
there's so many classes.
And this and that. And I think that's obviously
They've got
location.
Speciality classes.
Yeah, I think that's like location specific, depending on where you live.
They have virtual classes. They're like going full on.
You mean YouTube? Because that's what a virtual class is. Anyway, that's funny.
Yeah.
What do you like?
I don't know. You call some random person that's been assigned to you and you tell them all your problems for half an hour or an hour, whatever you decide to book, and then they try to help you.
So I guess the classes...
I can do that for you for free in our group. So
that's very true. So they are... Most people that go to PetSmart, and like you said in the group, it's their first dog. They don't know. Maybe they've watched a few YouTube videos, but they want they want formal training
little,
kind of thing.
Yeah, push in the right direction or whatever.
And so that's kind of, from our opinion and perspective, what PetSmart is for. It's like the... uneducated, not dog savvy.
Not dog savvy people.
Yeah, I'm going to say uneducated.
Yeah. There has been a story on the internet where a pet parent went to PetSmart training and they started asking this dog trainer questions, like pretty basic stuff, hey, what's the difference, teaching my working line Malinois dog. What's the difference between that and teaching like just a pet? Right. And they couldn't answer the question because
taking a Malinois to PetSmart for training.
in their mind, like every dog, like this is the problem with PetSmart. Every dog can be trained in the same way. It's very standardized. It's very like, this is the program and we're going to stick to it and we're going to teach every dog this way. It's not very tailored to your needs.
But other courses or classes are like that, like puppy classes, you're going to learn these things, but it is tailored a little bit because, you know, the instructor will walk around and see how you're doing on this exercise. And they're like, okay, hang on, you're struggling. Let's try this instead. And they will offer that tweak. So yeah, they're all learning the same thing. But if your dogs and your dog aren't getting it, they're kind of like, okay, let's try this instead.
We can adjust it, right? Yeah. To fit, or like, you know, to get you to that goal maybe a little bit slower because your dog is a slow learner or whatever it may be. Or
give you ideas of things to practice at home.
Or maybe your dog just doesn't get it this way, but they will get it that way. And that comes with that experience with working with a dog. And that doesn't come from watching 16 hours of videos online.
I wonder what they teach you.
I have watched more.
I definitely have watched more. I think I've read more books in that amount of time as well.
Does this qualify me as a PetSmart trainer?
No, I think you're overqualified.
I think I'm over.
But yeah, so it's geared at like the basic stuff. It is geared for people that want to just like the sit, stay, loose leash walking.
Yeah.
You know, which it's okay though. It's like, I mean, it's better that your dog knows extreme basic commands than nothing, or basic behavior than nothing. You know what I mean? It's like, is there better? Of course there is, which will, you know, but you know what I mean?
So there's no training, which is bad.
Okay, yes.
There's PetSmart, which is like, okay, you are making steps in the right direction. Yeah. And then there's like, you know, your actual schools.
Actually, no. And then I think personally, in between PetSmart and actual schools, it's teaching yourself based on learning yourself. And I think, well, this is what I want to add. And again, we've never been, I guess we should say, we've never been through a PetSmart class. This is just what we've heard people say.
We hardly go to PetSmart.
Yeah, that's true. We don't, you know, based on our research, based on the stories we've heard from other people in our group. But like, I feel like you could get more done. Oh no, sorry, that was my train of thought. A lot of dog training, especially basic stuff, is you're training the human, the dog parent, the dog owner, not the dog.
Yeah.
And this is where other classes and stuff like that give you that personalized thing, because they'll tell you, be like, oh, you are doing this wrong. Maybe try doing this instead, based on, for some dogs, when you're supposed to loose leash walk and they're tiny little things and you're like crouching down, you know what I mean? Like depending on the size of your dog, where they're at, kind of thing. And when you learn yourself through online, through YouTube videos, it might take a little bit longer, but you're learning different methods to teach something. And you're watching the video. So you have to understand first, then you do it without someone like just be like, oh, here, I will show you on your own dog. And it's like, and that's something that I know the classes we do, they don't do that. They're like, oh, here, let me show you based by me doing it myself, kind of thing. And it's like, if you as the dog parent don't understand the concepts of training or whatever it is you're learning, you'll never be able to get your dog to.
Yeah.
Because it might work in this class environment, but you're going to go home and you're going to forget. And you're like, I don't really understand.
I mean, the trainer can be there and act as a puppet, right? And be like, hey, this is what you do. But then
so my point was no training, PetSmart, train yourself. Again, this is for most basic stuff.
Yeah.
Actual kind of recognized class of a dog training facility, not everything
by an actual like dog trainer. In my mind, like puppy stuff, basic things, you know, you socialize with other pups and things like that. Okay, go to PetSmart. That's fine.
Exactly.
It's good for them, right? That's okay. But then when you like progress to things like obedience or I have a problem with this certain thing, that's where specialized dog training will be way more worth your while than going to PetSmart.
And you don't know what you're missing, in the sense of like, even with us, when we got Maple, we obviously wanted to do basic obedience class. We didn't know what else we wanted to do with her. But by going to training facilities, we'll call it, because that's what they are, a training facility that offers multiple types of training, and not by the same person, in a sense, whether it's puppy class, basic obedience, rally obedience, agility, whatever, all those kind of stuffs. You get to talk to the trainer who's done, for the most part, has done these things with their dogs. Yeah. So then it gets you an idea. Be like, okay, cool. I just finished basic obedience. You go to PetSmart, you're done. You're done. The rest of your dog's life, you don't learn anymore. Yeah. Which is fine. But then it's like, oh, but I never thought about doing this. What's scent work? Let's learn that, you know? And so you lose that opportunity when you go to a place like PetSmart, because it's a corporation and they want you to stay with them. They want you to do classes with them. They want you to buy from them. they don't want you to go anywhere else because they want your money. And that
They,
was just
they
something
will
I thought
not
of.
tell you, hey, there are cool things you can do with your dog. You can do like
Just
sand
not here.
and rally, and you can do agility and things like that. PetSmart focuses more on like basic pet parents. Like, oh, I just want to have a pet and I want my pet to be able to sit and like...
which is nice, of course.
Yeah.
But you also, so you're right. So you do that. And I guess that's the next thing we'll kind of go into is you do that, you do your basic stuff. But now because it's a corporation and part of their training is probably sales training, we don't know. We're just speculating.
We assume corporations.
Yeah. So based on, especially what we talked about last episode.
Exactly.
Yeah. So now they're gonna convince you to buy from them. And we've bought things from PetSmart. It's fine. But buy the food they sell, buy the treats they sell.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's fine. There's nothing against that. But are there other alternatives?
Yeah.
For example, raw diets. You definitely cannot get that at PetSmart.
Yeah.
Certain healthier treats that aren't full of chemicals.
Like,
you probably can't get that at PetSmart.
You have to think about is this dog trainer like getting some type of incentives for selling certain things within the store?
I wouldn't think so.
I
Because
don't
no
know.
one really talked.
But it is a speculation.
We don't know. But anyway, the point of that is you're being like funneled. That's the word.
Yeah.
Funneled into just like, you learn from us, you buy from us, and like, oh, you should get this type of harness for class, or you should get this type of collar.
A lot of people actually on the internet, they say that they feel almost like pushed by these dog trainers to buy certain things and then being pushed to book that next class with PetSmart, even though, and so what's funny, a lot of PetSmart classes, they actually have policies which are like refund policy, for instance. So if you are not satisfied with the class, or maybe you no longer want to continue the class, you may be eligible for some type of refund. Also, they do this satisfaction guarantee where if you are not satisfied, you can actually redo.
So they definitely want the not dog savvy people. Yeah. So then they wouldn't be.
And if you think about it, in dog facilities, the classes are always non-refundable.
Oh, the second you book it, before you even show up, you cannot get your money back. You got to miss a class. Well, you just miss a class. That's it.
Yeah.
That's fine. You're welcome. You're allowed to miss a class. You can just not show up to all of them if you really want to, but you're not getting any money back.
Yeah.
And like they'll say like, oh, hey, just to let you know, if you want to go into the next class, this is what it is. They're not like, you have to sign up starting tomorrow.
But that's
and it's
just like one of the signs of it being like corporation.
That's so true.
And trying to give you these low incentives to retain
you feel
within
like
that
you're
system.
safe.
Yeah, like, hey, you safe. We got your back. If you don't like this training, we will refund you.
But then that makes you think. It's like, is it that if they're willing to refund you?
Are you saying your dog training isn't good? That it's worth a refund?
Yeah.
So I can be just dissatisfied?
Yeah, that's interesting. Like what, that's crazy. I
like
can't
in a dog
that.
training facilities, when you go to a trainer and that trainer with experience that has been vetted by the facility, that is probably, competent in certain things, or maybe they're a judge or whoever, because in facilities, dog trainers want to promote that they have really good dog trainers. Exactly. You don't get your money back because you're paying that dog trainer's time.
I wonder if the dog, I don't think they do. Do trainers at PetSmart have a dog they used to like show as examples? I have no idea. I didn't see anything when I was like,
no,
I know because the training facilities,
I don't think
do.
so.
That's just interesting. You're right. So it's like,
I don't think that's a requirement.
Yeah. To have your own dog that you use as like a show and tell kind of thing. Like, hey, this is what we're learning. I'll demonstrate on my dog.
With my dog. Yeah. Oh, that's a really good question.
I know. I just thought about that because when you said, facility dog trainers want to like show you that they have an amazing dog, and they do. Their dog is just sitting on a platform waiting the whole class. Yeah. Not tied to anything, not in a kennel, not in a crate, just like hanging out, waiting to be called to do something with all the other dogs around.
I know.
That's great. Anyway, that was just a thought I had that I was just curious if you saw anything about that.
I don't think so. Because if you look at the room that, where we went to PetSmart, the training room. It wasn't very big.
I'm curious. Is it worth spending the money to do a research product? We'll get a refund because we're not satisfied. No, I'm kidding. I don't want to waste my time.
To me, it would be just a waste of time.
It would be. So yeah, I guess we'll kind of carry on with PetSmart and what we think it is and what it is all about. And,
so they're only allowed, per policy at PetSmart, they're only allowed to use positive reinforcement training.
Which is good. Like,
it's awesome.
That's great.
But also kind of restrictive. Because that to me means that like a dog trainer can't really decide for themselves how to teach that dog. Or maybe, if someone's struggling with certain thing, maybe they're not allowed to even go there.
Oh,
that
like
is outside of
as a
the
suggestion.
Yeah.
Not like you must use aversives, you must do this. But it's like, hey, have you tried to, for example, your dog is jumping up. Have you tried just to push them down?
Yeah.
Not hit them, not smack them. I don't know if that's considered a positive because you're technically touching your dog. But that is an option, And are they allowed to? I don't know. And you're right. That's a lot of restrictions.
And
where you, as you mentioned earlier, it's like we're only going to teach you this, that's it.
Yeah.
Anything outside of this scope, I don't know,
Yeah. So once again, it kind of tells me that there's only one approach. There's, one size fits all kind of thing. And obviously we all know that every single dog is different. They all learn differently. They're all different sizes and breeds and they have different needs.
Yeah, exactly.
That rhymed.
That's true. I didn't think about that. But you're right.
And that dog trainer, they just might not have necessary knowledge and experience to actually recognize that or have freedom within their corporate kind of environment
because
to
their
be
hands are
able
tied.
to express and actually really help people.
Because they don't have the dog's best interest. They have the boss's best interest or whatever, where I think a facility does have the dog's best interest because they want you and your dog to succeed. They want you to have a loving relationship with them.
It actually, reflects better on them.
Yeah.
And let's talk about cost.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is a big thing for a lot of people. We see that in our group. A lot of people are saying like, hey, I can't afford a private dog training is a whole nother separate thing. We're talking about classes because PetSmart offers classes. They offer private, but we're not getting into that. And we're talking about like classes at facilities, at like training facilities. So based on our knowledge and experience and research, a 6-week program, which is an hour a week for 6 weeks, it's around $200 to $300. And usually you're anywhere with like 4 to 6 or 8 dogs kind of thing.
Training facility.
At like that's all they do, like a dog training facility. So you're looking at, whatever that works out to per class, $35 or something like that. Yeah. If you do the math.
Which is not a lot.
It's not. And then it's good though, because you get more personalized stuff. And then you have PetSmart. Guess you want to say.
Yeah, I mean, PetSmart right now in Canada, I don't know about anywhere else, but I just had a look before we did this podcast and most of the classes are $99 for a 6-week program.
So that's like
they're very competitive. They're literally cutting the price
like
in
$17
half.
a class. Yeah, you're right. It is. If not like a third, I guess. Yeah. That is insane.
So for someone who's not very dog savvy and they have never trained their dog in their entire life, to see that price tag, $99, they're like, sick.
That's fine. $100, I can do that to teach my dog basic stuff.
Maybe, I will learn something. So this is where the question comes, like, is it worth it?
Yes.
Is it worth your $99?
I asked that at the start. Sorry, not at the stop.
Yeah.
And I mean,
for a puppy
our opinion
class,
say no, but it depends on the situation. For a puppy class, if you have a little Maltese, Shih Tzu, lap dog, something that's just your stay-at-home pet, you just, you want to love them and cuddle them forever. Sure. I guess so. If you have a higher drive, higher energy dog that you actually want to build. Actually, no, I'm going to phrase it this way. If you just have this dog, this pet that just stays at home and whatever, it's your pet. It will sit beside you on the couch. You'll feed it. Cool, get it. If you want to build a bond or a relationship with your dog, no. And I think that's the biggest difference, because they don't teach you as the owner how to teach your dog, which now you're just removing that, like building a bond, that relationship building. And so I personally think, yeah, if you want a dog that you can go and do things with, that you can take places and not worry about them misbehaving, you know, you're not going to learn that type of stuff at PetSmart. You're going to learn just my dog knows how to do I can get my dog to bark when I say speak or whatever.
So PetSmart actually has like a tailored class for trick training.
Do they?
Yeah, but obviously they don't offer it in every single facility because they don't have trainers that can train these stuff. And obviously the trainers who actually know trick training, that are qualified to do crazy things with their dogs, probably do
they're
things by
level.
themselves. Yeah.
They're a bit higher
They
tier.
either have their own business or they work for actual recognized and like, a bit more prestigious
training facilities can offer the classes.
That offer classes like that.
That's interesting. I did not know they had a trick training
They
class.
do. So they have this section where they do specialized classes, and they even have therapy dog training classes, which is funny because there was this woman on the internet that decided to go through PetSmart therapy dog training.
Okay, therapy dog training. Okay.
Yeah, therapy dog training. And I'm not actually sure how long this course was. Might have been like 4 weeks, 6 weeks. I don't know. It takes years to train a service dog.
A therapy dog or service dog. Okay, yeah. So she did this class.
So she did this course, and she legitimately thought that her dog would be like a certified service dog at the end of it, like a therapy dog.
Yeah.
So she received a little certificate from PetSmart. PetSmart approved. And right at the bottom, in tiny little letters, it said, "This by no means certifies your dog to be a therapy dog."
So what? Really? Yeah. So she just, why would they offer? What's the purpose of that class then?
So that's what she said. Like, what was the point?
Is it just like a little intro to see like, hey, is this something you want your dog to do? But then go find like actual real professionals to teach you this afterwards? Like, I don't get that. Why would they offer that?
I have no idea.
I mean, tricks, okay, fair enough. I get that. But to offer therapy, like, it's hard. Like, it's theory. That's like very vetted. You have to have a
specific type of dog to do therapy dog stuff with. Yeah. To be a service dog. Not any dog can't be a service dog. I don't believe anyway. I think you have to have a certain type of dog that has a certain temperament in order to be a service dog. And there's so much work and training that goes into that I don't think PetSmart can supply.
Well, and so I guess that kind of like leads into the whole thing with PetSmart is, again, it's good for basic stuff, but it's not good for any, I don't want to use the word serious, but any like actual behavioral issues, any sort of aggression, any sort of kind of like things that are specific to your situation, your dog, your household.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Your dog, it's like you might have a neighbor that has a really annoying dog and it's setting off your dog all the time. PetSmart's not going to help you with that situation. Yeah. They're not going to know the answers because they don't, and they don't have the knowledge. They don't have the experience. They haven't done the research. They haven't learned from the right people. I mean, I can keep listing.
They're like specialized in that type of stuff, and they do work outside of PetSmart. But
like that's like finding a unicorn, needle in a haystack. Like, fair enough, they exist, and I've seen some people say like, "Oh, PetSmart training was the best. They taught my dog how to sit and down and loose leash walk." And it's like, and it depends on your expectations. If you think it's amazing for your dog to be able to do those three things, then of course you're going to think you're going to think PetSmart is the world. You go to a training facility, I don't know what's above that. I think
your mind would just explode.
Yeah.
It would just
even with us, we're very knowledgeable, and we're doing classes with Maple, and there's so many like little hacks or little things that you're like, I never thought about that. Like, I can't believe I never thought about doing that or trying that little thing.
Yeah, it's actually quite crazy. So this is what annoys me about PetSmart is that sometimes I feel like they take advantage of people, making them think that, hey, this is a dog training facility, a dog training kind of corner, right, in our shop,
at least the one that
where you can come in and we can help you with these problems. However, they can't. They don't have, a course for dog aggression, dog reactivity,
anxiety, or things like that. It's like, oh, hey, my dog is extremely anxious. Oh, okay.
I know they offer one-on-one dog training with like a dog trainer or like the virtual classes or whatever. However, would you be able to get more value out of someone who's specifically specializes in like dog reactivity or aggression?
Yeah. Well,
Probably.
Exactly. But it's like anything. It's like when we had the groomers on and they have the one person that specializes in reactive dogs to groom them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you have a reactive dog, you're not going to take them to PetSmart, for example, to get them groomed.
Yeah, exactly.
PetSmart did you know PetSmart does grooming too? Let's just add it to all the things. But yeah,
so
you're
it's
right.
just like setting your expectations, right? You're only paying $16 per class.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're not going to answer all of your questions.
Yeah. And
so you get what you pay for.
You don't know how many people are going to be in the class.
That's true.
So
it was very hard for me to find any type of information about how many dogs are allowed to attend these classes. And I think it's largely dependent on the demand.
Maybe there is a limit. I don't know. Well, there's definitely a limit, but we don't know. Where a lot of other training facilities, they'll say it right on the thing. Be like, this class is limited to
dogs.
6.
Yeah.
Depending on what it is,
classes
maybe it's
are
more.
kept very small.
And so then you get that in an hour class, you teach things, but then everyone gets like their 10-minute window.
Yeah.
Where like over that hour, that trainer will probably spend at least 10 minutes with you, approximately, working
like
on the one
one-on-one.
thing that's like, oh, okay, let's show me what we've been like learning. And then you say like, oh, okay. Oh, she's great at this, or he's great at this. Here's the next step. And that's what they do. It's like, well, this is what we're going to do next. It's not till next week, but if you want, you can start practicing that, whatever it is. And they'll do that. Not like, oh, we don't want you to be ahead. Yeah. Because then you don't need us anymore. And so that's the thing. You don't know. Are you going to be with one dog? Or are you going to be with, well, not one. Are you going to be with 6? Are you going to be 12?
Yeah.
Is it like I imagine like a gym class. Actually, I just thought about this, where the gym trainer instructor is doing something, and you just follow them. If you got to skip a few moves because you can't keep up, well, then you skip a few moves. Yeah. Because you can't keep up, and then you just try to get on track with them. Imagine doing that with your dog. Yeah. You're doing like a yoga class, and it's like, wait, what? Which one is that? I don't understand. Be like, okay, we're on to the next one. Okay, I can do that. Imagine that's what you're doing with your dog. Yeah. Oh, I don't get this. I'll just skip this part. Yeah. But then this part, I'll do, like, you know what I mean?
I'll just do it like half-assed.
That's a weird analogy, but I just thought, I was originally thinking of people that do like yoga in a park.
It's funny because even a yoga class is more expensive than that 1 hour dog training class.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Normally.
It's actually very true.
So, and also, so that's the thing in like private dog facilities, you get that time with the dog trainer to ask them questions afterwards, ask them some pointers like, hey, this is what I'm struggling with. What should I be working on? So it is a lot more tailored to your needs. And also, I think maybe not every single dog trainer that we've ever had, but most of them that we've ever had, we follow on some type of social platform.
And I also want to just kind of say, for our personal experience, when we talk about training facilities, we don't only go to one. We're not those people like, oh, we found the perfect one and we're very lucky. We've been to 4 training facilities, depending on, with one dog. This is all with one dog, by the way. Depending on what we want to learn, depending on who's teaching, obviously the class availability, because you have that option. It's like, hey, we want to learn disc, for example. Maple's doesn't really like it, but we want to learn disc. Hey, this person has won like championships. I want to learn from her. Yeah. Oh, we want to do like proper, like high-end obedience, to get like the good neighbor thing, whatever. This person literally has a show dog. Her dog got this good neighbor, whatever.
When they were a puppy
when they were like 6 months, which they've changed, you know what I mean? And so you have those opportunities. You want to learn trick training? wow, let's learn from someone who literally performs. Their job is
performs the
performs.
tricks, yeah.
Like as a performer in front of an
You
audience. So you
always
get
want
those
to-
options where you don't
Yeah.
with, because you don't know who it is.
Yeah.
Does it list trainers on their websites? Names? I don't know.
I don't
Profiles?
know.
We never looked. It might. We could be wrong on that point, but we're just, that was something I wanted to emphasize. It's like you're paying that extra money, but you're getting like a, world-class person potentially. Of course, this is all
Depending on
what
adult training
where you're going and all of that, but you
facility.
have that option
Yeah.
to learn from like the best, maybe not the best in the world, but the best in the area, the best in the state, in the province, in the country, whatever it is. Why would you not want to learn from that person than the part-time student who, I like dogs. Dogs are so cute. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. I might get some backlash from PetSmart trainers, but that's okay. That's
I'm sure not all of them are bad.
no, of course not. And again,
But
there are
the
good
thing
ones.
is,
It's
like,
that foot in the
in
door.
my opinion, if I'm paying money to learn something with my dog, I want to learn from like the best person that I can find within my vicinity.
Within the area, or within a reason, reason kind of thing. And I think that's
And sometimes I might find a person that's not quite right for me, and that's okay. You move on and you just like find another person that maybe you click a little bit better with.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, there is that, because we follow these trainers online and we see their work, we see what they're working with and where they're at as well in their careers, how they're progressing with whatever they're doing. We can just message them. Be like, hey, like, this is the problem that I'm having. Like, are you able to help me?
Yeah.
And they obviously want to just keep that check in with you just to make sure, hey, like, is everything okay? Like, how's Maple doing? Or maybe they're watching our videos or reels and they're like, oh my gosh, that looks amazing. She's making so much progress.
Or when we post things being like, "Oh, does anyone have a solution?" And and we'll get answers from all sorts of people, but we'll also get answers from like the trainers we've had in the
so
past.
there is that ongoing kind of relationship that you end up ultimately building with these dog trainers, and not all of them will teach you in the same way, which is also a blessing.
Yes.
And that's something what PetSmart doesn't allow.
Yeah, because they have their curriculum of we do everything.
Yeah.
And I imagine, and so that's the thing. You can go to a training facility, you can do a puppy class with one trainer. Yeah, they have their curriculum. It's like week 1, we're going to learn this. Week 2, but I think they're open a little bit on how to teach it. But then you just go from puppy class to like basic obedience, which is a bit more, and you have a new trainer.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, let's see
And
how
you
you
get to
do
pick their
things.
brain now, right?
And I guess to kind of go back, when we talk about this, yes, if you want the most basic stuff and you want your dog to sit and stay, you know what I mean? Like, I still think you can do it online. I think the only benefit to doing a puppy class, well, mainly puppy class, is the socialization part. It's the trying to get your dog to listen to you with other dogs around.
Yeah.
I think that you cannot replicate at home. So to pay $100 to take what maybe you've learned online or whatever and put it into practice in a facility with dogs, that's worth it. To be honest, because then it's like, cool, let's see. Wow, my dog is the most well-behaved dog at home in the living room. The second you go anywhere else, it's like, my dog doesn't listen. And we see those all the time.
Yeah.
And I actually want to add as well about the relationship and the ongoing support. When you do a puppy class or a basic obedience class with a young dog, like less than 6 months, their brains are all firing. They want to learn. Then they hit their adolescence kind of terrorizing stage, which maybe they tell you about. I have no idea. Where everything you taught them, they forgot.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're
goes
like,
out the
what's
window.
wrong? I don't understand. Now you can get that. Be like, you can message that person. You can write a post about it on whatever. And they'll be like, oh, this is what you do. You just have to take a couple steps back. You have to kind of reinforce those behaviors, reteach them. Unfortunately, it's just the way dogs are.
Yeah.
Do they teach that? I don't know. Do they have... I don't know how much dog behavior they learn in 16 hours. It takes me 16 hours to read a book sometimes.
Not that much, right? That's the point.
Yeah. So it's just a thing that we just keep seeing these questions pop up, and
Like,
it's
is
just something
PetSmart
that
dog training worth it? Like, yeah, if you're not dog savvy, you just want to have a pet kind of dog, and you just want to socialize them a little bit in like more controlled environment, then yeah, maybe it is worth it. However, I think you can get your money's worth a lot more from
Yes.
dog training facilities that are not corporatized.
And so, you know, this
that.
like tagline of this podcast is helping you become a better dog parent, whatever, preparing you for your dog in the modern world, all of that. You won't get that from PetSmart. I think it's better to find a proper training facility with higher class trainers, spend the more money, because you have no idea, like building a relationship with your dog is so rewarding, so just amazing that you probably would not get either not training your dog at all or potentially going to these like corporate places to get your dog trained. And PetSmart is the main one. Petco is another one that's in the US. Again, we have no experience with that. We don't have Petco up here, so we can't even look. But it's like that bond, building that bond with your dog, whether it is a stay-at-home pet, it's such an amazing feeling and just will make yours and your dog's life together so much better, so much more fulfilling.
Yeah.
Because you have the more knowledge, you have the support if you need it to continue to give your dog and they'll give you, whether it's diet tips that are completely unbiased because they don't sell dog food at training facilities. They'll give you treat advice. They'll ask you, I know when we did puppy class, hey, do you have meal times or do you let your dog just eat whenever they want?
Yeah.
And luckily everyone in our class, we have meal time because that's more important. I bet you PetSmart wants you to let your dog eat whenever they want. So then they eat more. And I don't know. I have no idea, but I'm just saying that was just my little rant on like, yes, like you said, PetSmart could be worth it, but I still think that $100 can be spent so much better elsewhere.
Yeah.
To be honest. Yeah, like easily.
If you get a dog trainer who has like 7 dogs and they've always had dogs and they've taught so many puppies, and, you know, they provide you with value information of, hey, how to desensitize your dog to cutting nails, for instance. That's Maple.
Yeah.
Barking.
Yeah, I think someone's at the door.
Amazon.
That's her alert barking.
See, she's not perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
She's trying.
I don't know if you caught it. I don't know whose camera was, but like I got startled. But I think you were talking. I kind of jumped.
Yeah.
It always scares me because it's the only time she barks.
Yeah.
Is their little alert bark, which is fine. Like dogs are allowed to do that, but it always makes me jump. Anyway,
they will teach you things above the socializing your puppy. They will teach you basic things like desensitizing to cutting nails, desensitizing to noises, and like all the basic like handling, how to handle your dog.
No, we don't know if they do this at PetSmart. Just to throw that out there, but
we don't know.
This is our assumption,
we had different experiences with puppy classes, so we know that things can go very wrong.
Yeah,
things
because
can
we
go
did classes
really
for
well.
puppies, and same thing with training facilities. Not all of them are meant for you. You know, and so I guess, that's the point of this is if you need it, but I honestly would, it's people I think are using the classes to like, they want someone else to teach their dog. And I think you'll realize when you go to a training facility, you have to teach your dog, not someone else. And once you realize that, which I think we've talked about all the time, be proactive with your dog and your dog's life. Once you understand that, you'll realize, why don't I just teach myself?
Yeah,
why don't I watch YouTube videos?
Like there's so much content out there.
Yeah,
and I can guarantee you that there is probably everything that PetSmart is teaching you, you can learn by yourself.
1,000%. Yes.
And from like dog communities and YouTube and Instagram and all
these
that
like
stuff.
big, huge, big name trainers that have like really expensive courses, the amount of free content they have on YouTube because they want to teach you all the basics. So then when you want to progress to advanced, they will sell you your course, which is fine. Let them do that. But they're literally teaching you the basic obedience stuff for free. And there's so many different methods of learning. Yeah. And you can be like, hey, I don't like this person's voice. I don't want to watch this. Are you kidding me? They have a German Shepherd. I think the obedience on the German Shepherd is different than my Shih Tzu. You know what I mean? Like you have that option.
Exactly.
When you be proactive and you learn by yourself and you learn how to learn. That's it. That's my rant.
That's it. So I think teach yourself, be proactive. Don't go to PetSmart.
Don't go to PetSmart.
And just type in Google, honestly, dog training in your city, and you will get all the people that are training, or if it's something specialized you look for, type in that specialized thing, dog aggression,
look
dog
for
trainer,
Facebook groups for
whatever.
dog owners in your city. We see them all the time for here being like, hey, I'm moving to this part of the city. Does anyone know of any dog classes, training facilities, dog walker, whatever it is, you know what I mean? Like unless you're in some rural place, well, if you're in a rural place, there is no PetSmart, so it's not even an option, but
it's a blessing.
Yeah. So that's it for this one. Anything else you want to add?
That is all.
I think we got our point across. We are not trying to hate, but we're hating on PetSmart.
There are limitations for sure. However, PetSmart training is better than no training, so if you must go,
if you want to pay and you want someone else to do it for you, I guess so, but that's fine. You probably aren't the kind of person listening to our podcast, and to be honest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Maybe. But that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe, like, follow, all of that fun stuff, depending on where you're viewing this, listening to this. And
bye for now.
See ya.